Hey there, and welcome to Goddess on the Rise. I am your host, Sarah Berg, and this podcast is all about empowering women, living in your truth, loving your body as it is, in your journey to self-love. You can find this podcast to be real, raw, authentic, and truth. So buckle up, girlfriend, because we are going for a ride. Happy whatever day it is that you are listening to this. So I want to get into something, and I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. A couple weeks ago, Lizzo had posted, which has now since been deleted. And if you know me, you know I freaking love Lizzo. Like, oh my God, I love that girl so much. Anyways, she posted about this 10-day smoothie detox she did. And immediately when I saw it, I was so pissed off. I was like, oh my gosh, Lizzo preaches body positivity and preaches FU diet culture, and she was falling victim to it. I was like, what is going on? What is happening? And she deleted it, and then she posted about how, and even went on her stories and posted about how she posted it because she wanted to show something that she did that was positive for her body. She goes on to talk about hey, I've been in Mexico. I was partying. I had a lot of drinks. I had a lot of really shitty food, and my stomach was trash. So I really just wanted to kind of clean it out, and I felt really good doing this. She goes on to say that she wasn't doing it for weight loss, and she never does mention if she has any weight loss. She just kind of shows off her body and her skin and says hey, I'm glowing and I feel so good. Never says anybody should do it, but just kind of insinuates that, hey, I did this and it felt amazing. Of course, she was also eating vegan the whole time and drinking alkaline water and taking all these supplements. So I saw it and I immediately went to the comments because I was interested. Are people supporting this? And it was a big no. Nope, no one was supporting this. In fact, everybody was pissed. They were like, Lizzo, we expected more from you. Not a freaking juice cleanse, not a freaking smoothie routine. This is bullshit. Why would you post this? You're supposed to be this responsible figure that everybody's looking up to, and you posted this bullshit that's making us feel like, we should do a smoothie detox and juice cleanse and all this kind of crap. And immediately I read the comments and I was like, I could completely see where they were coming from. And I kind of felt some way too. And I was like, you know what? I hope that this isn't something that she's going to continue talking about, because I know it's such bullshit. And if you've listened to any of my, podcast episodes or even follow me on social media, you know that I am the biggest advocate for doing what feels good for you and your body. For me, sometimes that looks like me drinking juices. And the reason being is my digestive system is very, very stressed out. It has a lot going on. I have had parasites. I had to do a lot of killing bacteria in my stomach to kill those parasites. And then I had to rebuild it back up. And I've had mold in my system, and I had H. pylori bacteria. And I know there's something else that I'm missing. I've probably talked about it before. Maybe you guys know, maybe you don't. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But so things that are easy for me to digest, like juice, is a quick way for me to get some nutrients in me, like celery and carrots and ginger and turmeric and apples and oranges and lemons and whatever it is I juice. It's a quick way for me to just feel really good about my body. But there's no weight loss associated with it. I'm not doing it for weight loss. I'm not doing it for any other reason than for me to kind of get the nutrients that I need, especially when it's hard for me to eat every meal because, I get full really fast because of the bloating I have, and because honestly, I don't really have an appetite. So hunger cues just aren't always there. So it's something that I do. I have been doing it for a long time, and it's not anything that I have talked about very openly until here recently, mostly because I didn't want anybody to just go out and start juicing in hopes that they would lose weight, or because I have said so. I understand that I have an influence on you, or anybody for that matter. So anything I post about, I really think about first. How is this going to make my audience feel? How is this going to make my following feel? Is this going to brainwash them? Is this going to make them feel bad about themselves? Lots of thought goes into it. And I want you to know that I try to be responsible as possible. So with that, you guys have been wanting more and more like real and authentic me. And also you have been wanting to know what I've been doing. So I ended up on Instagram polling and Facebook polling you and asking you, like, do you want to see this? Is this something that's helpful or harmful for you? Does this make you feel a certain way? Does this make you want to go out and buy a juicer? And I've really asked those questions and kind of dive deep with you. And a lot of you said no, like, I want to see this. I want to know more. I'm intrigued, but no, it's not going to influence me to go out and do it myself. I specifically said that I am under physician supervision, and my registered dietitian, who is also into functional medicine, I'm under her supervision as well. Nothing that I am doing is a recommendation for you or for anyone else. I'm just simply sharing so that way maybe you can ask your doctor or whoever you're working with. Maybe it's something that you can explore and research and just know more about. Like, hey, that could be something that I do sometime when I ask my medical team. Once again, I'm doing this all under the supervision of my physician. I have complete, open, and honest communication with them and my registered dietitian, and they understand why I'm doing the things I'm doing. And they recommend it, and they say I'm good with it. Same with the coffee enema. It's crazy, right? Like, it's been one of the most controversial things I've ever talked about on freaking stories. And the amount of people that were like, oh, I'm so intrigued. It makes me nervous, right? Because once again, I know I have this influence and I don't want anybody doing anything that's going to be harmful to them. And I think that's why for years I was like, I never shared the supplements unless I was like, okay, this is what I'm taking it for. But once again, don't do it yourself. Like, you guys are just interested in my healing. So I've been very, very, very careful about what I post and what I say and what I share, because I don't want anybody to just go out and buy something and start taking it and then them harm themselves even more. And I think that's why so many people were mad at Lizzo, right? She posts this and like, hey, I did this, but she didn't tell us the exact reason why. And some people are going to say, well, she shouldn't have to. It's her social media. And while that is absolutely true, and I couldn't agree more, she does have a certain amount of responsibility here. She knows that she has an influence on people. She has this massive following. Millions of people are watching her. And you can't tell me that you can just post something like that without expecting backlash or without expecting, what if some young girl was like, oh, Lizzo did this, so now I need to go do this. And she wasn't under supervision of someone. And so she starts doing this, and guess what? She doesn't get enough nutrients and she passes out. Or she's already suffering from malnutrition. Like, this can be something super major. And I think that's why we have to be very aware of the influence that we have on people. But since then, Lizzo has deleted the post, which I freaking love, right? Like, I'm glad that she realized, hey, like, people did not like that. I can't post that. And she did come on and say like, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry. And this is why I did it. And since then she has posted, hey, my body is still fat, and I'm still comfortable in it and I still love it. And I think that is the difference between everything. Health. You can see so many people promoting so many different vitamins and hair gummies and all this random shit, right? But if they're not doing it responsibly and just doing it to make a quick buck or an ad, like, you can feel how inauthentic that truly is, right? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right with you. But it does have an influence on you, right? And I think that's what we have to keep in mind when we're watching and seeing people on social media, when we're scrolling. How does our feed make us feel? Does it make us feel bad in our bodies? Okay, then we need to unfollow, delete that person, right? If something isn't sitting right with us or is making us feel a certain way about our body, then it's obvious that we need to change what we're consuming. It's really important to remember that what we are doing and what you see other people are doing, especially with someone like Lizzo, like, it was a great reminder that just because you see someone posting about a juice cleanse or smoothie detox that they did does not mean that they recommend it for everyone. And I also want to remind you that it does not mean that you are going to have massive results and just lose all this weight. And Lizzo was a great example of that. In her body, she's still posting, she is still absolutely fat. She's vegan. She eats really, really raw, healthy vegan meals. And maybe that works for her body. For me particularly, that would not work. I would be really sick, especially with raw vegan food, because my digestive system is just not there. Like, it's really messed up. It would really upset my stomach. So it's just this reminder that not everything is going to work for you that works for everybody else. And it's also a reminder that you can eat healthy and work out and you can still be fat. Everybody's body is different, and Lizzo was a great example and reminder of that. And she did just that. She reminded us that, hey, like, just because I did this amazing 10-day juice cleanse smoothie program with all these supplements and all this amazing water, I didn't, change that much. Like, I just feel better. And that's why I did it, because I was feeling gross before. And I imagine that her being in Mexico and eating all that food and drinking all that alcohol, she probably did feel really, really disgusting. I don't know about you, but after I come back from vacation and I've literally trashed my body with all that junk, then I literally feel like shit too. So I could see myself being in her shoes doing the same thing. I just understand that my influence can create a wave like hers absolutely did. So in the end, I think it's really important here to ask yourself, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel good about the content you consume? And what makes you feel shitty? And the people that, make you feel shitty, you should just go ahead and unfollow, right? And it's also important to know, like, whatever you see on social media is absolutely one-sided. We never see the full picture. Okay. And I think this is something important to remember. I have recently been following a lot of registered dietitians on Instagram, and they have really been preaching about intuitive eating. And once I realized like how shitty my mental health was that revolved around meal plans, which if you have not listened to that episode, just pause this right now and go listen to that episode. Meal plans ain't shit. I'm not here for it. And if you don't understand, that's a play on that one song that says, these hoes ain't shit. I'm not here for it. Because I just thought I was so funny. And I really am. Okay. Anyways, if you haven't listened to that one, just go listen to it right now. It's so freaking good. I'm obsessed with that episode. I just that's one of my favorite things. I think it's because it's what I needed to hear at one point in my journey. And I feel like it's what you need to hear in your journey. Anyways, moving on. When I realized meal plans ain't shit, I wanted to know a way for me to eat for my body that made me feel good, that didn't lead me to restriction, but also led me to listening to my body, listening to my hunger cues, and trusting in myself. And that's when I found intuitive eating. So now I just eat because it feels good, right? So I eat for pleasure. I eat for happiness. I eat for energy and fueling my body. And there is nothing wrong with that. I don't overeat. I don't binge. I still have fast food every now and then, although it makes me feel wildly sick. But most of the time, I just eat because it feels good for my body. And that is one of the things about intuitive eating. It's really learning trust within your body and building that trust within yourself. It is the most epic form of self-love out there. And I think that is my end goal for any of my clients, is that they walk away feeling like they are just so abundantly full of self-love. And they know that eating is a form of self-love and self-respect. And it can absolutely boost your confidence. When I eat healthy, and everything I eat is healthy in some form. If I eat dessert, that's healthy because it's healthy for my mental state. It makes me happy. So why would that not be healthy to be happy? And if you can't answer that, then you already know the answer. It is healthy. If we stop labeling our food good, bad, clean, healthy, if that makes you feel bad, or, etc., bad, dirty, carbs, like things like that, you are going to feel so much better about your body. So instead of worrying about a hamburger that you're eating and like, oh, this is bad, this is cheat food. It's a hamburger. Does it make you feel good? If it does, then guess what? That's healthy. You're eating healthy. You're eating for your body. You're eating for your mental state. You can eat food that makes you happy and still be healthy, right? So the next time you are on social media, or maybe the next time you're eating, because we kind of talked about both today, I want you to ask yourself, how does this make me feel? If it makes you feel happy, then proceed. If it doesn't, then delete or stop what you're doing and reevaluate what you're doing. And if you're still struggling with this, I want you to understand and I want you to know that we all struggle. It doesn't just happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, they say, and I absolutely freaking believe that. And I also want you to know I do have spots open for my one-on-one self-confidence, self-love coaching program. I have tons of client testimonials, which you can find on my Instagram page, and you can also just ask. And also, you can schedule a quick call. It's like a 30-minute call. And this is for anyone who's like, man, I don't know if this is for me. And you just want to pick my brain and see like, hey, is this for me or not? And what you'll do is we'll get on the phone, I'll ask you some questions, and then you get a free 30-minute coaching session. So you really can't go wrong here. If this is something you're struggling with, reach out. I'm here for you. I'm holding space for you. And I'm wishing you all the healing and amazing success in 2021. I love you so much. Have an amazing day.